AI warfare and the future of modern conflict. A new era in warfare. In the early morning of July 25, 2025, an event occurred that may come to define a new phase in modern conflict. A Ukrainian drone, equipped with advanced artificial intelligence (AI) and engineered for long-range precision, struck the heart of Russia, targeting the Kupol electromechanical plant in Izhevsk, sometimes stylized Izhevsk, over 1,000 kilometers from the Ukrainian front line. The implications of this strike stretch far beyond the battlefield. They represent a turning point in how wars are fought, how defense is structured, and how technological innovation is redefining global military balance. This is not just a story about one drone attack, it is the story of a revolution in warfare, one driven by AI, asymmetry, and strategic vision. The strike. What happened in Izhevsk? At approximately 4 a.m. on July 25, two long-range kamikaze drones, operated by Ukraine's Security Service (SBU), flew into Izhevsk, the capital of Russia's Udmurt Republic. The drones targeted the Kupol electromechanical plant, a facility central to Russia's air defense infrastructure. This plant is known for producing TOR and OSA air defense systems, radar technology, and components essential to both manned and unmanned aerial defense operations. According to multiple reports from international outlets, including Reuters, BBC, and Al Jazeera, the attack caused a massive fire. Video footage circulating on social media and verified by open-source intelligence analysts showed thick, black smoke billowing into the morning sky, suggesting substantial internal damage. The governor of Udmurtia, Alexander Brekalov, confirmed that 3 workers were killed and 45 were injured, 6 of them seriously. In the immediate aftermath, Russia's aviation authority temporarily suspended flights at nearby airports, a clear sign of disruption and confusion within the regional security apparatus. A strategic strike, not just a tactical one. On the surface, the strike may seem like another chapter in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. But this was not merely a tactical attack. It was a strategic blow, carefully designed, technologically advanced, and symbolically The Kupol plant is a high-value target. It supports the production of Russia's air defense systems, one of the few advantages Moscow holds over Ukraine in terms of military hardware. Damaging such a facility directly compromises Russia's ability to defend itself against future aerial assaults, be they missiles, aircraft, or drones. Moreover, this was not the first time Kupol had been targeted. A similar strike occurred in November 2024, suggesting a deliberate, long-term campaign by Ukraine to degrade Russia's defense industrial base far beyond the front lines of the drones, a technological leap forward. What made this strike truly exceptional was the use of AI-driven, long-range drones, reportedly of the LUT kamikaze model, a class of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, capable of autonomous navigation and target selection. Unlike earlier generations of drones, these UAVs can navigate complex terrains without GPS assistance, recognize targets using visual and infrared AI models, evade electronic warfare countermeasures through dynamic route adjustment, strike with far greater accuracy. Estimates suggest up to 80% effectiveness, compared to 20% just a few years ago. A 2025 report by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, (CSIS), explains how Ukraine has integrated deep learning models and AI chips into its UAV fleet. These models are trained using satellite imagery, battlefield footage, and machine learning algorithms designed to improve strike precision and survivability. Open-source intelligence groups like IGIV Agent and Rona suggest that the drones were likely launched from mobile trucks, potentially inside Russian territory, a tactic consistent with the SBU's spiderweb operation, which in June 2025 smuggled UAVs into Russia for sabotage missions against air bases. This represents a fusion of guerrilla tactics and state-of-the-art technology, allowing Ukraine to strike high-value targets without risking pilots or large aircraft. Strategic signaling and escalation. Timing is crucial in warfare. The Izhevsk strike came just days after Russia launched a record 537 missile and drone barrage against Ukrainian infrastructure, a show of overwhelming force aimed at breaking Ukrainian morale and momentum. Ukraine's response was precise and psychological, a direct strike into Russia's industrial heartland. This served multiple purposes, demonstrating capability, showing that Ukraine can hit deep into Russian territory with minimal resources. Signaling resolve, undermining narratives that Ukraine is on the defensive or incapable of counter-strike. Shaping diplomacy, occurring just ahead of peace talks in Istanbul, the strike reminded global negotiators that Ukraine retains offensive leverage. Geopolitical analyst Galloping Mo summed it up on X, formerly Twitter. By hitting a military-industrial target 1,300 kilometers away, Ukraine has made one thing clear: no Russian asset is untouchable. AI, drones, and asymmetric power. The Izhevsk strike underscores a broader transformation, the shift from conventional war to asymmetric, technology-enabled conflict. Ukraine's drone program is not just a reaction to Russia. A single kamikaze drone costs less than $20,000. The damage to the Kupol plant is estimated in the tens of millions. The psychological and political impact is even higher. This asymmetry mirrors similar conflicts globally, from the Houthis in Yemen using drones against Saudi oil refineries to Azerbaijan's drone-led campaign in Nagorno-Karabakh. In each case, technology levels the playing field between smaller and larger powers. Russia's vulnerabilities laid bare. The strike has revealed deep structural vulnerabilities in Russia's defense, long-range gaps in radar and air defense coverage. Over-reliance on centralized production facilities, limited internal mobility of high-value targets, inadequate civilian protection for dual-use infrastructure. The Russian military's layered defense systems are designed to repel aircraft and missiles, not swarms of low-altitude drones that can fly under radar or spoof signals using AI navigation. Defense analysts at RAND Corporation note that traditional anti-air systems, like S-300 or S-400 batteries, are poorly suited for intercepting small, fast, and autonomous drones unless they are deployed in vast quantities, something economically and logistically unfeasible across a country as large as Russia. International implications and NATO concerns. For Western powers, particularly NATO allies, the Izhevsk strike presents a dilemma: support Ukraine's drone advancements, risking further escalation, restrain supply chains, potentially weakening Ukraine's defensive capabilities, invest in counter-drone technologies, learning from Ukraine's success. A confidential EU defense memo leaked in June 2025 warned that future conflicts will be decided by AI-enabled systems and autonomous weapons more than by tanks or jets. The Izhevsk strike may well validate the prediction. The US and Europe have already begun investing in counter-AI technologies, including anti-drone nets and radio jammers. Directed energy weapons, laser-based interceptors, AI-on-AI warfare models for mid-air dogfights between autonomous drones. The strike also complicates NATO's diplomatic stance. Supporting Ukraine while avoiding provocation of a nuclear power is a delicate balance. Yet, as size analysts warn, deep strikes into Russia's interior could eventually trigger Russian nuclear posturing, especially if civilian casualties or symbolic targets are hit. So far, Moscow's response has been muted. But history shows that deterrence can be unpredictable when state prestige is under attack. The human cost. Behind the strategic calculus and technological marvel lies a human toll. The 3 deaths and dozens of injuries at Kupol remind us that even precision warfare cannot fully avoid collateral damage. Eyewitnesses described scenes of chaos as workers fled burning buildings. Emergency crews battled the fire for hours, and survivors were treated for burns and smoke inhalation at local hospitals. Ukraine insists the target was military-industrial and legitimate under international law. Russia has called it terrorism. The truth, like much in war, depends on one's lens. A new global arms race? The Izhevsk strike may serve as a blueprint for future conflicts. Countries with limited budgets are now observing Ukraine's drone strategy and asking, can we do the same? From Taiwan to Iran, and from Turkey to Nigeria, low-cost, AI-enabled drones are now seen as tools of national defense and deterrence. Ukraine has made the case that drones are scalable. AI makes them smarter and deadlier. Human pilots are no longer necessary for success. This has triggered a new kind of arms race, not in nuclear weapons or aircraft carriers, but in algorithms,